Imagine waking up tomorrow, and everything in your life is exactly the same. The problems you wanted to solve, still unsolved. The desires you've chased tirelessly, just out of reach. Your greatest hopes, the ones that kept you awake at night, whispering promises of a brighter tomorrow, never arriving. But here's the twist. What if you realized, in that unsettling moment, that this was as good as it gets? No magical breakthrough waiting around the corner, no perfect version of you emerging from the shadows, no enlightened moment of absolute bliss. Just life, exactly as it stands today. Would you despair, or would you feel relieved? We live in an era defined by endless self-optimization, healing our wounds, manifesting our dreams, growing constantly towards a better self. It's as if we're perpetually chasing the next rung on an infinite ladder, convinced that happiness, peace, fulfillment lie just one step further, one more book, one more workshop, one more achievement. But what if the chase itself is what keeps happiness just beyond our grasp? What if our relentless pursuit of more is the very reason we feel empty? In the next few moments, you and I are going to explore a provocative and liberating idea. What if true freedom lies not in becoming something else, but in radically accepting who we are right now? Nearly 2,000 years ago, in the crowded streets and dusty squares of ancient Rome, there was a philosopher who quietly turned the world on its head. Epictatus wasn't a king or a wealthy statesman. He was born a slave. Early in life, he faced cruelty, uncertainty, and helplessness. And yet, despite having every reason to resent his fate, he uncovered something astonishingly simple yet profoundly transformative. The realization that happiness doesn't depend on controlling the world around you, but on accepting life exactly as it is. He wrote, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly." Think about that for a moment. How many of your days have been defined not by acceptance, but by resistance, pushing against reality, bargaining with life, wishing desperately that things would just be different? Epictatus teaches us that freedom begins the moment we embrace this radical truth. Some things simply are as they are, and perhaps that's precisely how they ought to be. But how does this ancient wisdom connect to the way we live today? The anxious, striving selves we've become, caught in our cycles of constant dissatisfaction? Look around. Our phones buzz endlessly, promising something new, another notification, another like, another fleeting moment of validation. Social media whispers that happiness awaits behind the next vacation photo, next career milestone, or next perfectly staged snapshot of your morning coffee. Technology has woven us into a culture of perpetual waiting, each ping, each vibration triggering the same quiet anticipation. Maybe this is it. Maybe now I'll finally feel enough. But have you noticed? Enough never arrives. The perfect relationship feels just out of reach. The ideal job always one promotion away, and our best selves forever under construction. Modern life has mastered the art of dangling fulfillment before us, keeping us chasing illusions of satisfaction. We rush from goal to goal, trapped in a restless cycle, forever convinced that happiness lies somewhere else. But ask yourself, has it ever truly worked? Psychologists have a name for this endless chase, the Hydonic Treadmill. It's the invisible machine beneath our feet, keeping us running faster and faster, but always ending up right where we started. Each success we experience, each job we land, each relationship milestone we hit, delivers only a brief spike of pleasure before fading away, leaving us craving the next big thing. Neuroscientists explain this through dopamine, the brain's anticipation chemical. Dopamine doesn't reward fulfillment itself, it rewards the pursuit. It whispers in your ear, "Just a little more, then you'll be happy." But happiness always remains just beyond reach because our brains are built to want, not to have. Industries thrive on our craving. Instagram sells us carefully curated happiness, self-help gurus promise the secrets to becoming someone new, and productivity apps constantly remind us how far we still have to go. Our culture has monetized dissatisfaction, convincing us to always want more and never accept now. But let me ask you something deeply personal. Have you ever paused to wonder why it feels so frightening to stop running? Why does stillness feel like surrender? What exactly scares us about accepting life exactly as it is? Maybe it's because acceptance sounds like giving up. It feels like losing the battle we've fought our whole lives, to be seen, valued, loved, and enough. But if we pause and look closer, what are we actually fighting against? Could it be that we're terrified of seeing ourselves clearly, afraid that accepting ourselves means facing truths we've spent a lifetime avoiding? Take a moment, right now. Ask yourself, am I running toward something, or running away from myself? This isn't just some modern quirk. It's a timeless human dilemma, echoed through the centuries by voices wiser than our own. Soren Kierkegaard once wrote, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." His words gently reveal how our obsession with becoming someone else, someone better, richer, happier, often deepens our hidden despair. Instead of confronting who we truly are, we lose ourselves in endless transformations, trading authenticity for illusion. Viktor Frankl, who survived unimaginable suffering during the Holocaust, similarly warned us that the pursuit of happiness itself can sabotage genuine joy. He wrote, "Happiness cannot be pursued, it must ensue." Frankl understood that chasing pleasure is often the surest way to miss it entirely. Real meaning, he said, arises naturally when we pause long enough to fully inhabit our lives as they are, rather than as we wish they were. And Carl Jung, who spent his life exploring the hidden corners of our minds, spoke profoundly of our shadow selves, the parts we desperately try to avoid. He believed that true growth doesn't come from endless striving upward, but from turning inward and facing precisely those truths we'd rather not acknowledge. Jung warned, "What we resist persists. The more we chase ideals, the louder our ignored truths become. But what happens if we refuse to listen? What's the cost of endlessly chasing more, of always running, but never arriving?" It's not just exhaustion. It's something far deeper, far more troubling. Psychologists now see skyrocketing anxiety and burnout, especially among younger generations. We've become numb, restless, perpetually dissatisfied, moving through life half asleep, never truly present in our own experiences. Relationships fracture under impossible expectations. Careers turn hollow when success feels meaningless. And beneath it all simmers a quiet dread, that haunting suspicion that life itself might pass us by while we chase an illusion. So let me gently ask you, have you noticed how often you live on autopilot? How frequently your mind wanders away from the present, chasing tomorrow, escaping today? Start noticing when you pick up your phone without thinking, when you rush through a conversation without truly hearing, when you push aside joy for productivity. Notice how often your happiness waits on something else, something later, something better. What if the first step toward genuine freedom isn't achieving more, but simply seeing clearly? What if awareness itself could break the chains you've forgotten you're even wearing? What if there's another way, one that asks you not to chase, but simply to be? Imagine a life where meaning isn't something you endlessly pursue, but something you gently uncover. Picture waking up each morning not burdened by a list of what you lack, but grateful for what already quietly surrounds you. Imagine relationships where you're present, truly listening, rather than always planning what comes next. See yourself moving through the world, not rushing ahead but noticing, appreciating, tasting each moment for what it is, a fleeting, unrepeatable miracle. Freedom, in this vision, is no longer the endless race toward something else. It's the quiet strength that comes from accepting what already is. It's the profound realization that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy, that you don't have to heal every wound to feel whole. True clarity doesn't come when you finally reach the horizon. It emerges precisely when you stop chasing and allow yourself to stand still. So how do you start walking this quieter, richer path? First, begin each day by taking 5 conscious breaths, deep, slow, purposeful. Let it remind you that the present is always here, always yours to return to. Second, practice noticing without judgment. When you catch yourself feeling restless or inadequate, pause. Don't fix it immediately. Just observe it. Understand that acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means compassionately seeing things as they truly are. Third, choose depth over distraction. Carve out 1 hour each day, free from screens, goals, or productivity. Spend that hour doing something that nourishes your soul, reading, walking, or simply sitting with yourself. And finally, each night, write down just one moment from your day that felt truly meaningful. Not impressive or productive, but meaningful. Notice how, over time, the quiet significance of these moments grows clearer. Remember the words of Epictatus, whispered through centuries, reaching you now. Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go smoothly. Perhaps the truest wisdom is simply to embrace life precisely as it unfolds, not as a series of goals to conquer, but as a gentle, ongoing revelation. Because maybe the greatest gift isn't becoming who you think you should be. Maybe the greatest freedom lies in finally accepting who you already are. And so, I'll leave you with a question. Quiet, simple, yet powerful enough to transform your entire life if you're brave enough to answer honestly. What if this really is as good as it gets? And what if that's exactly as it should be? If this message spoke deeply to you, write in the comments, "The chase ends where it began." Share your quiet struggles, the hidden revelations, the subtle moments where acceptance began whispering louder than ambition. This channel is not here to entertain, but to gently guide you inward, to help you transform silently, profoundly. And if you've felt that shift, the next video awaits you with another truth worth holding close. Don't let your journey pause here. Click through, listen deeply, and keep uncovering who you truly are.